Hello, and a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me for this Sophrology workshop. I'm really happy to be able to deliver this session for you. So I thought I'd tell you what we're going to be doing in the next hour, the time we're going to spend together. First of all, I'm going to tell you a bit about myself, for those of you who don't know me. Then we'll kick off with a quote, which is quite inspirational, and it's kind of relevant to what Sophrology is about and what Sophrology does. And I quite like to have your views and see what it inspires you, what it brings to you. Then I will tell you a bit about Sophrology, but not a lot, because I really want this session to be experiential, so that you taste it, you experience it, and not be too much of a lecture. But just to give you a bit of context, and if you've never heard of what Sophrology is. So I will tell you about the practice, I will demonstrate, give you options, and tell you how you want to practice in the best way possible. And then we will practice it, we'll do it together. I will let you have time after the practice to maybe share your experience if you feel comfortable doing so. And before we jump off, I will tell you about my upcoming course, online course that will be hosting at the beginning of November. And should you be interested in joining and taking this journey further, then I'll tell you about it. And obviously there'll be an exclusive offer for you who have joined in. So that's it. So what I'm going to do now is actually share my screen. I've got this share. And okay. Yes, there we go. So let me tell you a bit myself. So my name is Sandrine. I am French, but I've been living in the UK for the last 29 years. Yes, that's quite. I was counting earlier, and I thought, God, yeah, I hadn't counted for a while, but it's 29 years in the UK. Before becoming a qualified sophrologist, I was a university lecturer, in French at my local university, Essex University. I left in 2019 to become a sophrologist. And the reason why I changed career is, and came across Sophrology, is because I kind of was suffering from burnout, and I needed something to help me recover and find my sort of joy, my energy levels. And I came across Sophrology and decided that it would be my new vocation. So I'm really happy to be able to bring this to you now. I'm also a mum. I've got a daughter, 20-year-old daughter, who's at university at the moment. I'm married. And I am based in Essex. I've also put my values. Values is something that we work with in Sophrology a bit, although we won't talk about it, or we won't experience this aspect of the method tonight. But I just thought I'd share this with you. So one of the most important values for me is love in all its forms, harmony. Harmonious relationships, harmony in my surroundings. I like beauty. I like harmony in my in where I live. I like harmonious relationships in all their forms. But also, there's one really important value for me is enthusiasm, and it's one of the driving forces I have. So if any of these are lacking in my life or missing, then I'm out of balance, and I don't feel happy. So at least these three, there are others, but these three are really important to me. So if it's something you want to think about, reflect on, what are your core values? What makes you happy? What defines you in terms of values? So that's enough about me. Tonight is about you and about the practice. So let's start with this quote I was telling you about, which is from Viktor Frankl. I don't know if you know him. He was an Austrian psychotherapist and the founder of a therapy called logotherapy. So it didn't have anything to do with sophrology. But he wrote about the Holocaust because he was a Holocaust survivor, and he was sharing the experience. But and writing from the point of view of someone who survived and what enabled him and others to survive that horrendous experience, and having meaning and giving meaning to one's experience is what he was talking about. Anyway, let me just read this out for you and take time to just let it sink in. Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So I've highlighted a few words. Space could be replaced by pause. You know, there's between stimulus and response, there is a pause. And that pause can be just taking a breath. If someone, I don't know, makes a fairly hurtful comment, instead of kind of hitting back, lashing out, maybe breathing and consider your response instead of escalating the interaction. And in that space, so having that pause, having that space is what gives you power, standing your power, and gives you that freedom to react or respond in an appropriate manner to whatever is thrown at you. So in that response lies our growth. So it means it's something that we need to practice. It's not something that easy, but it's also a hallmark of our freedom. And I would add, in our response lies our growth, our freedom, and our peace. Being able to pause, take that little space to consider before acting or saying or doing anything, brings peace. And I suppose the kind of life we're living, the kind of high stress existence we're leading at the moment, world events, everything, makes it really difficult for us to maybe integrate those pauses. So this is what Sophrology does really, is to kind of help us build and develop those pauses so that we can respond to life in a more appropriate, in a more aligned way. So there you go. So Sophrology, yes, Sophrology is a form of dynamic pausing. And you'll see what I mean by dynamic, because we use the body, we move the body, we use the mind, we focus the mind on very specific things. It's also called dynamic relaxation because of the body and the gentle physical movements that we use in Sophrology. It's dynamic, so it's not about staying still. It can be, they are these little meditative pauses of stillness, but it's also about moving the body and being aware of our body and our sensations. And at the core, at the heart of Sophrology, the Sophrology method, is the mind-body connection and how that works towards our overall well-being. So it's considering the person as a whole. We are a mind, we are a body. We just don't have a body. We are a body as well. And it's the mind-body, perhaps spirit connection. I was talking about values earlier on. So this is the kind of core elements of the method. So just to give you a bit of context, as I said again before, I don't want this to become a lecture, but just so that you know what Sophrology is, and you can always find out more. There's loads of stuff on the internet. But for those of you who are not familiar with it or have never heard of it, and believe me, that's the case for most people in this country, then here are three things that you might want to know. So Sophrology was developed by a Spanish neuropsychiatrist called Dr. Alfonso Caicedo. And basically the method combines the best of Western and Eastern approaches in self-care, well-being, and self-development. So Sophrology is not just about relaxing. It's much more than that. It's about learning how to live well, having the best life. The Guardian, interestingly, called it the new mindfulness. And Sophrology is kind of widely used across Europe, certainly in French-speaking countries and in different areas. So it started in medicine. So Professor Caicedo was a psychiatrist dealing with patients with PTSD. And then it kind of extended to education, to the workplace, corporate, sports, and high competition. For example, the French rugby team, they use Sophrology for mental preparation. So anyway, so lots of areas of applications. And of course, in well-being, which is what we're doing tonight. So what is Sophrology? It's basically a gentle and quite effective well-being practice method that will boost your energy levels, help you manage stress, improve concentration, and by managing your stress, it will also promote and improve sleep, and generally make you feel happy or happier about your life, and reflect on what it is how you want to live your life, how you'd like it to be, and it's a method that would help you do that. So there you go. Let's get on with the practice. So today's practice, which I'm going to demonstrate in a minute, we're going to kind of focus on concentration. You'll see that I'm going to ask you to concentrate and focus on your body. And so it's just to increase body awareness. I will encourage you to notice and be, to observe your body sensations, your feelings, without judgment, without interpretation. It's just, you're just having an experience. And it's really to increase and to listen to the body, because the body is telling us things, and sometimes we don't listen to it, or we listen to when it's ill and sick. But it's good to listen to it more generally and more consistently. We're going to be letting go of and releasing tensions. So, we're going to work on relaxation, becoming more relaxed. And we'll do some physical exercises, very gentle. You don't have to have any ability, any fitness particularly. They're all very gentle, and you do them in the way that feels comfortable for you. I will obviously show them to you. And we will finish with a visualization, or what I call a positive mental imagery. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I want you to find out in the moment when it comes towards the end of the practice, so that you don't try to think about it beforehand. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for now. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate the practice, because I'm going to suggest that we work with eyes closed to better concentrate on ourselves. But should this feel uncomfortable and you don't feel right working with eyes closed, please feel free to keep your eyes open. It's perfectly fine. Okay. I will also suggest that we start the practice standing. So most of the practice is going to be standing. But if at any point you need to sit down, you're feeling tired or for whatever reason, please do so. Don't wait for me to tell you, to give you instructions. You just listen to your body. This is the only golden rule really in sophrology. So make sure you've got your chair behind you, because we will be sitting down towards the end for the visualization. But so we'll be starting standing, and the first exercise we're going to be doing is an exercise that will encourage us to kind of focus inwards, just so that, just to increase concentration. And what we're going to do is we're just going to raise one arm straight out in front of you, and we're going to look at a point on our thumbnail or thumb, doesn't matter. So we're going to gaze at that point. Okay, then we're going to take a breath in. We're going to hold the breath, and as we hold the breath, we're going to allow the thumb to travel gently and slowly towards the forehead. You're still gazing at that thumb. And when you go cross-eyed and your thumb touches your forehead, that point between the eyebrows, you can breathe out and bring your arm back down. And from this point, we'll work with eyes closed, if that feels okay for you. At this point, I will guide you through a body scan. So a body scan is bringing our attention to different parts of the body and then the whole body, just noticing the sensation. I will guide you through it, so you don't need to remember, you don't need to do anything, just follow my voice and see what happens.